Wait, should we have like a little insa? Okay. 안녕하세요. Dude, I think we need wine in us first.
Right now? Okay, so I got this though because I didn't want to pop the champagne. Oh. I recently, I watched Seasons Inferno.
Yeah.
You're not caught up on it though, right?
No, I literally didn't even watch the previous season. I only watched clips of it.
Yeah, I didn't watch season 3 either.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
No.
Oh, the what got you watching?
Because everyone was like, Jenny, you didn't watch Singles Inferno.
Oh, you of all people,
Yeah,
like you
of
don't
all
need
people.
on. Dude, I'm actually surprised because you watch everything.
Season 1 and 2 were kind of boring.
Oh, I see.
They were low-key mid. There was like this one scene where like this guy, he popped a bottle of champagne, but like in a way that the champagne doesn't overflow and then it doesn't pop. And when you do that, that actually means that you're very skilled at popping bottles of champagne. So like the panelists were like, oh. To know if he is a piece of trash.
No, he is like a piece of
Oh,
trash.
he is?
He is.
I was surprised that like he's 36. Oh, he's a basketball player.
Yeah, 맞아. He's 36?
Yeah. That's why people were like, how dare he like be 36 and like
Like who?
play, yeah.
No, you know what it is? It was this like attitude of, oh, like I got it. You know what I mean? Oh. Because all the other guys, okay, there were guys and that were more innocent.
Mm-hmm.
And 근데 like you know how on like TV especially. Oh mother.
Are you good? Okay, so I always got La Marca, but then I get it so often, so I want to try Mio Netto.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wait, we should do like a 2.
What?
2 something.
Oh, to our podcast.
To our podcast. Yeah, that's the same reaction. I mean, it's definitely what I usually always go for. I think I might like it better than La Marca.
It's like sweet.
Yeah. I actually prefer Moscato, which is even sweeter.
Oh, so this is like right up your alley.
So this is like perfect. This is fine. Do you not drink a lot of sweet wine?
I do. I actually prefer. So I don't actually like sweet things.
Yeah. But you like sweet wine?
But I really like sweet wine.
Okay.
Because I think like the dryness of it like combats that.
I actually really hate dry wine.
Oh, you do.
Yeah. So when I was first trying out wine, I had no idea what dry meant, right? So like I would just like, yes, I would want dry. Because that's what like the mature people always order.
They do, yeah.
So that's what I got. So I was like, I want dry. And I had it, I'm like,
I'm gonna just stick to the Jenny and Debbie.
I think that's great.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We're Jenny and Debbie.
That's it?
Can we have like a hand sign like in K-pop? 저희는 Jenny and Debbie입니다.
Wait, you know what's so funny? I was actually thinking about that in the shower. 우리는
Jenny and Debbie.
Hi, we're your hosts.
Okay, yeah, time to get serious.
Yeah, so we're your hosts.
We're your hosts,
Debbie.
and Jenny.
Sorry, I was busy
So,
drinking.
I don't know how I'm gonna edit this video.
I know, it's gonna be so 오글거려. Oh, wait, do you wanna introduce ourselves first or?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I go first?
Yeah, because
I introduce you first?
Oh, yeah.
You mean I introduce myself first?
No, let's introduce each other. Yeah.
Okay. We've been friends just a little, not even that long, right?
Wait, when did Compass start?
2023 August. September.
Oh.
Now it's January 2025, so it's been a little over a year.
Wait, it feels so much longer.
So it does feel so much longer now, right? But I feel like we've only gotten friends, we've only gotten to become friends like really around March. Like it started ramping up in January, right? Last year.
Okay, with all the girls.
With all the girls, yeah.
No, but then I personally feel like our friendship started way later.
I agree.
Right? Yeah. Because I think as a group, we all kind of started around January.
Yeah. No, actually, you know what? I would say like that's when it started, but then I would say like I felt like, oh, I'm actually friends with these girls like when around Christina's birthday party.
Oh, mine was like way later.
Really?
No. So like as a group.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, as a group. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then I think the moment that I realized I was like, oh, this girl is like, she lit. was probably maybe like around May or April, but I think it was closer to May. Was it not for you?
No, I think it was like around that time too. No, but I think personally though, so I think as a group, I felt close in January. And I think it was after the pig in December, when we hung out as a group.
Oh, Wonder Pig.
Yeah, Wonder Pig, yeah. So that's when I first felt like we were all like something was there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And then it hit in January because that was like in the end of December, I think. I don't know.
I think that was like right before Christmas.
Yeah. So that was like right before we were all saying we were on our break. And then when we came back from January, I think we all picked it up right where we left it off.
Yeah.
And then, so that's when I felt closer as a group.
Yeah.
But it felt weird because I still wasn't close individually with people.
The girls.
Yeah.
With the boys.
Yeah. With the boys, I still...
Yeah, I still don't.
I don't know who they are.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah. But the girls, like, I think...
The girls.
Yeah, I got closer, like, a little bit after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I wonder who, like, came up with the Wonder Pig idea, because that was actually a really great idea.
That was the glue...
Right?
To our...
Wait, oh my God. We went to
Cole's
apartment after Wonder... That's why.
Okay, that's when I think I knew you were cool because you remember we did the we were like competing. What was the air hockey thing?
Oh my God, I was so competitive.
No, 근데 sorry. Because we Korean. I really liked it because I was competing with someone else, but you know when like there's like sore losers or you can't really...
Oh, you feel like you can't confidently win.
No, or like it's not like I can't win, but I'm like, I'm like worried that like I'm like,
they'll take it.
Yeah, like take it too personal or like, because you know how like also when I'm like in a like competitive mode, I can like yell things.
Yeah.
Stuff. But like I was doing it with someone.
Oh, okay. Redacted.
Yeah, so I was doing it with someone, and then I think it was a little bit awkward because I wasn't close enough to get in that competitive spirit. So when you came and we were doing it, you were so competitive and you like beat me in like 10 seconds and I was like, oh my God. But it was fun because it didn't feel like, like she cares about. It was.
Okay, I'm glad that you took it that way because I feel like some other people can take it like
like she's so feisty.
Like, chill, bro, it's just a game.
No, I wanted it to be more. And I was like, no one's giving that energy. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. That room was really clutch, that game room, if I think about it. What fun times. Yeah, I guess we've only been friends for a little bit over a year. I don't know how to describe her. Okay, how about you start, and then I'll pick it up from you, because
okay.
I'm starting to like think about your attributes and your qualities.
So I'm going to start with...
Oh, we're looking... Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with my first memory of Jenny. She actually came in through another friend.
Right.
She was introduced to our church through another friend. And you came in and you were so bubbly. And I remember I was slightly worried because I don't... bubbly personalities kind of scare me. Because I
really,
think...
but you're bubbly too.
Really?
You're very... what's the English like? I can't say... 활발해.
Extroverted? Energetic?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh. No, but like, you know, like the very positive bubbly. Like, like that kind of energy.
Sure.
So you... I recently met someone, like, I think it was a month before I met you, where somebody brought that energy, but I couldn't keep up with it. Oh. So I was worried when I met you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that was just our our first
initial.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you remember this, but I said, "Oh, what's your name?" And then you were like, "Jenny," and I said, "I'm so sorry, but I suck with names."
Oh, you don't remember names.
And you're like, "It's okay." I'm like, "Jenny from Blackpink." And then that helped me remember, so I never forgot your name. So that was like kind of very, very first memory. And then in small group, I was so shocked because there was a deep question that was thrown out. And at this point, none of the girls were close and comfortable enough to speak out. Of all people, because you were like new.
Yeah.
You shared something that was so deep. And I think it shook everyone. But then the thing was, the way you shared it was so lighthearted. So it's like one of those things where it opens the floor, but it doesn't make the atmosphere like
like burdensome.
Yeah. Because sometimes when people share some deep things, it can be a little like, oh, but I felt like
I have to keep up with that.
Yeah, but I think you like what you did. You basically like opened the door, and then you kind of like made space for other people to like.
Yeah.
And then after then, I think for like a couple weeks actually, you were the one to open that door and then kind of like scooch aside.
Each time.
Yeah. And then once the girls gain confidence, but I liked how you did it so nonchalantly, like because some people are like, okay, it's like let me do it, like let me like take that floor, you know. You were just like and then you kind of disappeared and then like made that space available for people.
I think it's because like at that time, like I was like really going through, like there's a lot going in my head actually, so everything that you're telling me is very enlightening.
Really?
Yeah, but I can touch upon it later.
Yeah.
Like I want to tell you first because I also have very similar impressions. I no, as in like the events that you remember, I also remember too. Like you saying, "Oh, I don't really remember. Like I have a hard time remembering names. I'm sorry." In college, there was a time when a couple of people would straight up be like, "I have a really hard time remembering names." So you just kind of say it to me multiple times. But they would kind of say it that way.
Yeah.
And so at that time, like I was still like my bubbly self. So I was like, okay. But then they would consistently forget it. So then it kind of like started eating away at my own like self-worth and it made me think like, oh, am I really that forgettable of a person? So like when you said that actually, like
did I turn you off?
No. It was, I remembered that for a second, like for a split second. But then I was like, no, this is a mental challenge for me to not lose to like past Jenny. Like what I thought back in the day.
Wow.
Because like I think I was actually thinking about like, oh, what does this mean? Like, because I have a tendency
to like
overthink, especially back then. So like everything that everyone was doing at small group, I was like analyzing everything because I was in a new environment.
That's true.
So when you said that to me, I was like,
oh, is she trying?
What kind of girl is this? Is she a friend or is she a foe? Like I was actually trying to figure you out on that spot. But then like my rational brain also told me, I was like, okay, you know what? I've literally talked to her for like 30 seconds. So I was like, oh, it's okay. Like my name is Jenny.
Wait, what was your conclusion then? And in that moment specifically?
My conclusion was that I just didn't know you well enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then like I remember distinctly when we were going up the stairs to the second floor, we were like laughing and talking, but then the way that you laugh, you'd be like, you would like scrunch up your eyes too when you laugh, but you still do that. Yeah. But you're like, once I saw that, for some reason, I felt like such a warm feeling from that facial expression alone. So I was like, there's no reason, like there's no way this girl is gonna be mean and evil. So like I think that's when I started feeling a little bit more like I think I can be a little bit more myself here.
Oh.
Yeah, because I think you were one of the first few people that I spoke to within the girls, besides Eunice, that I was kind of like, oh, okay, I think, like, she gives off such good vibes. Surely the other girls will too.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't even know all this time. So 감동, so touched.
That was the same day. That was the same day that you were like, I don't remember names.
Oh,
well.
Yeah. So I always say, I preface that because I have goldfish memory. So I know that it offends people, but I want them to know that I actually like have no memory.
Wait, but then now that you mention it, I feel like you don't.
I don't have goldfish memory?
Yeah, because like you're able to remember like so many things. When I tell you, I'm like, okay, so remember this happened, and you're like, oh my god, yeah, what happened with that?
Oh no, okay. So here's my theory. I think I'm bad with memory, like things. So like short term, like immediate things.
Yeah.
That I don't have a connection to. So if I learn your name, right, and I don't know you, then I forget about that instantly.
Because you're like, who is this person in my life?
Yeah. But then I also forget about things I really don't care about. So something I really struggle with is people and what school they went to. Because because I really don't care about that. But then when I came to like New York,
everyone's asking.
In church, everybody asks and remembers. Yeah. But I always forget. So like when people are like, oh, like he went to that school, she went to that school, right? And I'm like, I don't remember at all. Like that always goes over my head. But sometimes I realized it was a problem because I would be talking to the same person and they'd be talking about like school and I'd be like, oh,
I'm
you
sorry,
went to that school?
yeah.
Like for the 5th time. And I
Yeah.
probably and they probably feel like I don't care, which I don't in terms of like their school.
Yeah.
But so I realized like things I don't care or don't have a connection to, it like
Goes over your head.
yeah. So no, but some people like are so good. They're like, oh, like Christina is so good with her dates. Or like like
I think she holds a special place in her heart for dates.
yeah.
And for time.
Yeah, because she knows. Like I'd be like, oh, I'm like my parents are coming next weekend.
Yeah.
She knows, and I'm like, I even forget sometimes, and she's like, oh,
Yeah, even when she was like, oh, I think Eunice is on her plane right now
Yeah.
to California. I was like,
Yeah.
But it's so interesting that you do say that like your first impression of me was like that. Because honestly, I feel very calm now. And I feel like I can just like, I don't have to necessarily be anything more anymore at church. But at that time, I felt like I had to kind of present myself as more than
like more
than just who I am.
Oh, like you have to give a little show.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh,
That's how I felt. But I think it was also just because like my confidence was like rock bottom at that time. Or it was like coming out of its rock bottom era. And like I think I mentioned it a couple times before, but like I previously dealt with like social anxiety, right? So like putting myself purposefully into like a whole new environment like that, it was really hard for me to wrap my head around. But the way that I approached it was like, you know what? Let's actually take fake it till you make it to the next level. And even if I'm not confident,
Amen.
just pretend I am.
No, I know. Yeah. Wait, that's actually so shocking to hear from my perspective, because when I saw you, I thought you were so like a social butterfly. And remember, I think I told you, but one of my again like my first impressions of Jenny was that you're so confident, and I think that confidence I found very attractive, because that was something that I also not like struggled with, but I think that was something that I was always craving, like that confidence that came in social settings. And you like brought that, and you weren't shy about it. And so this is like kind of a stupid example, but one thing that I struggle with is like eating in public, especially if no one else is eating. Like I don't know why, but I feel a little like iffy. Because I feel like the tension is like
All on you.
yeah. And so I really don't like that. But that's like one example. But in small group setting, we were like all sitting in a circle, and then you were eating pizza. I don't know if you remember.
Anything you're telling me, like I don't remember. This is just like another day of my life.
Yeah. And everybody, like, again, we were like in that circle where everybody goes around and says their
Highs and lows.
No. It was the question, the icebreaker.
Okay.
And you were eating your pizza so freely, and I was like, oh my goodness, like she can eat a pizza.
I am a free soul.
Yeah. So I think my impression of you was always, oh, so confident. She knows what she wants, like that kind of girl. But it's like really shocking to hear that in your perspective then you were like, oh, fake it till we make it. Like, yeah.
But you know what's so interesting is that you say that, but I also think like there are parts of you that I'm envious of. Planning for the retreat last year, you kind of just like went and did things yourself, like drawing the brochure, making the little stickers.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, when it comes to things regarding like my talents and my skills, I get very insecure about. So even drawing or something, like when someone has to perceive something I make.
Because it's like an extension of you.
Yeah. And then so if I were to draw stickers like you did, the only thing that would be on my mind would be like, oh, what if I'm a bad drawer? Like, what if I give this and they think I'm a bad drawer? Like, what's the point of even drawing then?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but then like, you just went and did like the way that you want to, and you're like, oh, by the way, I made stickers, and isn't it so cute? I was like, this girl does whatever she wants.
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. And that's what you realized when we were like preparing for retreat.
Yeah. And also just like there were so many times where like you would say something that I was kind of feeling or thinking, and then you just throw it out there.
Well, shut up. I felt the same way. So this is like one thing I like about our dynamic.
Yeah.
We sometimes have like crazy ideas, but the thing is, I think when you bring it up out of nowhere, sometimes people take that as like a little bit too much. Like it can be ideas, it can be emotions too, because sometimes I feel like I have like emotions that are like I'm feeling something, right? But maybe it's like not the appropriate place, or like I don't know, but sometimes I notice that a lot of people get turned off by like
Oh, it's like, oh, it feels too much.
Yeah, like the expression of just a lot, you
Yeah.
know. But that kind of kills what I feel then, or what I am thinking.
Yeah.
But with you, I feel like we feed off each other.
we really do.
Yeah. Because I would say like kind of shyly, like, oh, like, what about a brochure? And then you'd be like, oh my God, like I was already making one. Or, like, you know what I mean? And then we're like, wait, what? What the heck? And then we kind of like keep feeding off each other. And then I think that's why the retreat was so successful, because we fed off each other's ideas.
Yeah.
And then we're also the type to like not just throw it and then just leave it. Like
Yeah,
we'll stick it,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I think it's because I realized it's like people want this kind of stuff, but
They're scared.
they just don't voice it. There were certain things that we decided to do during the retreat. We were like, let's do a campfire, let's do this, da 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 da. And I feel like all those little things like prompted for like people to get closer with each other, right? I feel like a lot of people might be thinking like, oh, but I don't know exactly like what we should be doing to bring people closer together or
I
create this kind of
see.
feeling.
And you felt like you had that, or we had that?
No, I think we're just crazy enough. No, we're just like, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that.
Do you think that it's because we're less afraid to take risks in that
I don't
regard?
think so. I'm very risk averse.
But if you think about it, like you said, sometimes people might have those ideas, but maybe because you can't say like we're the only crazy people.
Oh yeah.
But and everybody has a little bit of crazy in them,
course.
right? But I think it's hard to find people who are willing
match that
yeah.
level.
And sometimes I think it might be totally wrong, but I think a part of it might be because people are like afraid to show that side. Because again,
Like
I
show
said,
that they want it.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or even like the expression of it. Because like I said, I think I've noticed that like in certain settings when I share that emotion, it's like punished. I get punished for it. Where it's like, I'm like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have done that, or wow, I'm so extra. Why did I, you know?
Wait, you know what? That's a great point, because I think that's exactly what caused my social anxiety. Like in college, I was part of CASA, like my college's CASA, and there were like things I wanted to do and things that, like I had so many ideas that I wanted to throw out there. But then the first few times that I threw out those ideas, the people in the room, their facial expressions were like, I don't think that's possible.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And then immediately you're like,
I'd be like, oh, okay.
yeah. And then we just shut that door. And
and then you want to say it less and less.
Yeah.
Yeah, so by the end of like my term, which is like only a year, like I said nothing.
Oh, and
I didn't want to contribute anything, and then just that contribution, I feel like they weren't receptive to it really.
Oh.
Yeah. But I think also like I was very young. I had really, really stupid grandeur ideas. Like I was like, how about we throw a Running Man kind of competition?
Wait, Jenny.
Why?
Shut the front door.
Wait, why?
Okay, last year, you know how I did the Valentine's thing for the girls?
Yeah.
After I did that, I was in the high of like planning.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do a Running Man kind of game show. Or not game show, sorry. Like a game event
Like
for church.
clues and...
Yeah, where it's like, and we all have like the names on our back.
Yeah.
The coming together and having fun and like chaotic energy I really liked. But that's like hard to find because a lot of times like games are centered around like an activity or
or
like
skill.
And so I was thinking about that, and I actually told Liz because I wanted to do it with her, and we were like close.
잠깐만. What does it say? Oh, movie recording.
Oh, shut up! We were in the flow,
Bro! I'm sorry, we have technical difficulties right now. Yeah, let's just talk about why we decided to start this podcast.
Yes, I think it was just an excuse, first of all.
For us to talk.
Yeah, for us to yap. And hopefully our goal is to bring people on the podcast.
Once they feel more confident.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so that will be, I think that would be, again, another time for us to yap about things that maybe we don't have in regular day-to-day life.
Yeah, basically we just wanted to create a space for us to be able to talk with each other and catch up with each other, but also practice our artistic creativities, our creative side. Because I think being a cognitive machine in New York City, sometimes it really gets to you, right? There are times where I crave and yearn for something artistic. So I think starting a podcast was just an idea that kind of sprung from it. it honestly just kind of came together like really quickly, like in a month or so. It was what? At our friend's place?
Yeah, so we were at our friend's housewarming party, and Jenny and I were off to the side just doing our usual yap, and we were talking to someone, and we were, again, it was nothing out of the blue for us. We were just talking in our deep manner that we always do, and friends caught a glimpse of
our amazing chemistry.
Yeah, our amazing chemistry and our yearning to talk about.
Yeah, to always constantly talk.
Yeah, always talk.
Wait, yeah, people are always like, you guys have more things to say to each other. All the time.
So going. So yeah, they caught wind of that, and they actually brought it up first. They're like, "Oh, you should do a little."
But honestly, I think they brought it up as a joke. If I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, 100%. They were straight up joking. And then Jenny and I are delulu in the sense of, you throw us an idea and we will eat that. We will pick it up and eat it.
Yeah. And so, we were like, you know what? Let's do it.
Yeah. And Miss Jenny had an amazing name.
I had been wanting or thinking, but it was like another delulu thought. Like a couple years ago, I was like, if I were to ever create my own podcast, it would be called "Sorry to Burst Your Bubble." And the way that I came up with it was because, like, I feel like in our world, like everyday life, there's always gonna be some moment, some event that makes you like come out of your bubble, right? Everyone's in a bubble. So I just wanted to like maybe talk with my friends, bring other people, like we said, to figure out like what exactly was your moment that made you come out of your bubble. Like, what was the turning point for you? So here we are.
And I think that's actually a great podcast name. I told a couple people, and everybody said that name is perfect for a podcast.
Okay, honestly, as soon as our friend Cole said, our friend Cole,
our best mate Cole,
our bestie, he was like, you know what? I can actually picture that. I can see that.
Yeah, and then that feeded our like delusion.
That feeded our delusion. Yes, for sure. So I was like, once he said that, I was like, well, now we have to do it if you say so. Yeah, our delusion has carried us this far.
So speaking of moments that burst our bubble.
Yeah, because February is coming up soon. We wanted to talk about love.
Yes.
But, you know, that's too cliche, right? So we wanted to talk about self-love. But I guess that's also pretty cliche nowadays in this mental health world.
Less
yeah,
cliche.
I guess like...
Less cliche.
I guess it's less cliche, yeah. But we wanted to like touch upon self-love and what that means for both of us. Yeah, do you have a recent event that like you felt like you realized what self-love was all about, or it changed your mind on self-love?
So I think this is very, very timely for me personally, because I always thought self-love was, and I think the way that media portrays it, sometimes it's like,
how does media portray it?
Like sometimes like having a spa day and treating yourself and going shopping. I feel like sometimes self-love, like some influencers sometimes go, oh, I had a day of self-love, and then they kind of show what they did, and
it's very temporary, right?
Yeah. And they were also, I think around that, my idea of self-love was very similar. It was treating myself well, even like going to the gym, like here and there, like that can be a form of self-love. Yeah. But I don't know, I think recently for me, I'm like, okay, if there's no pain involved,
pain?
I know, very extreme. I think self-love is actually, for me personally in this moment, growing, like character development almost is a form of self-love.
Interesting. And like pain is inevitable.
Yeah, so I think if there's no pain involved, I don't think it's self-love. That's a very extreme statement, but I think personally I'm feeling that because I'm going through spurts of character development, and it's things that can be brushed off as very small, but I think when you actually sit down and try to tackle like issues that I've maybe like dealt with like consistently, just like it's like a small personality thing, but I think once you decide to tackle it, it's like a huge thing, and it actually is painful because again, we've lived like this for however many years, right? So for me in this moment, like self-love, even going to the gym, it's like painful, you know? So I think with growth,
that's a good analogy, actually.
Yeah. So with growth, I think always comes a bit of pain. And I think, again, the way that media or like influences portray it, sometimes it's all about like giving love to myself, which is very important. But I think it's a lot of growing and a lot of pain.
Like,
I think is involved.
Self-love is not surface level as it's portrayed.
Yeah. I think self-love,
deeper than that.
Yeah, it's like I think it's when you like confront yourself and you go, and you're like, oh, you're messed up here, and then you own up to that. Because I think before,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
such a good definition.
Yeah, and then a little bit of pain involved.
Okay, so can you give me like one example of where you think that you like before this was like your stance on something, and then
Mhm.
now this is your stance, and you would not have recognized it if like you were not hard on yourself.
Okay, so one example is, so I recently got in a relationship, and I always knew that
Oh, I didn't know.
I'm very fond of someone at the moment. We'll call him Mr. Fondue.
Mr. Fondue.
I'm sweating.
No, I love it. I love it.
Okay. So I always knew I struggled with communication.
In like a romantic partnership.
No, even in friendships as
Oh,
well.
okay.
I think I personally have a difficult time asking for things or communicating how I feel. And it's more so along the lines of I actually don't have, it's not like, oh, I don't want to say it because I don't want to hurt you. It's less that. It's more sometimes if you ask me point blank like how I'm doing,
Yeah.
I think sometimes there's so much going on in my mind that if you ask me and I stop, I actually don't know what to tell you. Because I can't just like slip out and then anyway, so because of that I always knew like when people ask me, oh, how are
Like
you?
you're
Or-
feeling so much you can't
yeah.
sum it up into words.
Yeah. And sometimes I think I always just labeled myself as someone who feels a lot. And so I don't have to like sift through all those emotions and like clean it up in a way. And I always knew that about myself. But in this relationship, there were so many times where I would be asked, how do you feel? And sometimes I would just sit there. Like I would sit there and like stare at him blankly.
But are you sitting there like thinking about it?
I'm thinking about it, but my mind goes like completely blank because up until then I'm feeling like 4 million things. And I also don't think like straightforwardly.
Yeah.
So yeah. So to ask me to extract one feeling in that moment is very hard. But that is needed in terms of like communicating and like all those things. So I practice now sitting and trying to analyze or put words to what I feel. And that is actually very painful in a way because I'm so used to just being like, oh, like word vomit. Like, this is me. But now I have to like sit and be like, oh, why do I feel this? You know, and like well, the way I'm feeling might be because of something like days ago or, you know, so kind of sifting through that was.
Yeah, I think it takes, it's, you know why it's painful? It's because like it's active work.
Exactly.
That your brain has to do.
Yeah.
And
100%.
I think if you're younger and you're raised that way, or like parents tell you, like teach you to see emotions that way, then it's so much easier to pick up, right? But then we lived 26 years not doing so.
Exactly.
And then you're trying to break those bad habits. That's a really good definition of self-love. Yeah.
Yes. How about you, Miss Jenny?
I think for me, self-love is all about, I don't know, I think I go back and forth on this definition because I think I consider myself a pretty independent person. You need me to hang something up on the wall, I can do it. You need me to... I have no examples.
She's like, I'll just hang up a picture for you.
I always thought that independence was self-love, I think. Or like, this is how I love myself, that I'm able to take care of everything. But I also don't think that extreme independence is also a good thing either. I think like, you know, it takes a village to raise children, right? And I think after especially assimilating myself into a community is when I realized that you really can't do everything by yourself. Even if you can, sometimes there's more merit in doing things with other people. But I think like, yeah, self-love was also a very difficult concept for me to just grasp in general. I don't think I grasped it until like even last year or 2 years ago.
Wait, so does that mean when you're in that community setting and you're asking for help and being less independent, is that a form of self-love for you then?
I think that, yeah, I think self-love, it's like encompasses it's like a huge umbrella in my life, I think. Let's say that I'm in that community and then I ask people for help. Now that I think about it, I think I'm rambling. I just don't know how that relates to self-love.
No. I think it makes sense. I think I'm catching it. Because you're trying to say
I think I always like just saw independence as the best trait in me.
Yeah. But then, yeah.
But then I realized like I don't need, like it's not always great to be independent all the time. And then I used to think of it as like asking people for help as weakness. So actually, you know what? Now that you mention it, like that's something also that I had to like work through. Like I had to like work on asking people for help.
Yeah.
Yeah, even for like the stupidest things. or like things that I think are stupid that I don't necessarily need to ask this person for help, but if they were to come over and help me, then we can like also spend time together. And I think I realized that like that doesn't mean that I'm weak, and then that was like a way for me to see that like this particular independent trait does not equal my worth. And on top of that, like I think just because like I was coming out of such a long-term relationship, after getting out of such a long-term relationship, you do struggle with being by yourself for a little bit, right? I was struggling. Hindsight, I was struggling the entire year last year, I think, if I'm gonna be honest. Because right now I feel very comfortable.
Oh.
But like I feel very comfortable now because like I think I have a better sense of who I am. Like I know my worth. But I think like last year, like I just didn't know. And I don't think I was able, and I think like last year was just in a year of exploration of self-love for me, like what works for me, what doesn't. And I'm like really glad that I gave myself that 1 year to really figure it out. I think I have a better idea of it, but this is why like I feel like like the relationship with self-love for me is a very tenacious one. Because I also used to think that like it's just grabbing a cup of Starbucks. But then like at a certain point, like I kept doing that throughout college, right? Then I'm thinking like, okay, so now what?
Oh yeah, like what more?
Yeah, it's like just putting a Band-Aid on your wounds, I guess.
So Miss Jenny, I have a chonky question.
Yes.
Would you at this moment say that you love yourself?
Yeah, yes, I would say so, but I would go the opposite direction of maybe selfishly a little bit too much. Because now like I'm not confident that I can give my time up for other people. But like it's like weird, like for my friends that I know I can, because when you when you imagine things that you're doing for your friends, you know the level of affection is like somewhat finite. But then for your partner, there's no level of finite.
That's true.
Like you can always give more, and you should always give more. And I think right now I'm just feeling, like I really love where I am right now. I just don't know if I'm ready to change that up for myself. Like, I want more time for me.
Oh, so you think it's erring on the side of
I think it's erring on the side of selfish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because my philosophy is that, and I think this is why, like, I want children, I want family. Like, sacrifice is a beautiful thing, right? But then I'm, like, sacrificing nothing right now.
But also, you don't have, like...
I don't have to, yeah. I don't have to, but I guess the question is, do I want to? Not really. But the question should be, I want to.
Oh, okay.
Or the answer should be, I want to.
Do you feel like it might be because that person that you want to for hasn't come up yet? Or is it?
I think so. I think there's a little bit of that. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I think I say this now, but also, this is what everyone says, right? Just watch, Jenny. That person's going to come and you're going to do everything for that person. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But I will say it's because I never had this kind of thought when I was younger. The thought of like, I just want to do things for me. I want my time to be for me. I want my energy to be for me. So for me to like want this kind of life to be continuous for a little bit longer, I think shows me that like I am seeing self-love in a different way. Let's say this person comes to my life. Let's say that like I'm having a hard time because of this person emotionally. I think in the past, like I would have stuck it out.
I feel like even the first Jenny I saw,
you
would have stuck
exactly.
it out. Yeah.
But now I think I'm like, Jenny, this is not worth it. This is not worth you. This is not worth your time. It shouldn't be this hard. That is a chunky question.
That was a loaded question.
Let's say past Deborah, if she gotten that question, like, how are you feeling right now? Would she have maybe like ran away from the situation?
Oh, 100%.
Run away as in like, oh, you know what? I don't think you and I are actually a great fit.
No, 100%.
Really?
Okay, so I struggle with the most letting people know where I'm at emotionally. I think, and this is like such a perverted thought, not perverted, but perverted thought because
it's like
perverse,
distorted.
is that the word?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I think that if I show people my emotions and my thoughts, that I'm like in the palm of their hands, kind of.
Oh, I so understand what you mean.
You do?
Yeah.
Like, I explained it to like 3 other people and they're like, you're kind of crazy for thinking
really?
that. Yeah, and I tried to explain it and I'm like, I don't know what that, but it very links to the independence thing.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm like, okay, if I give you my everything, but it also aligns with if I give you my emotions and thoughts, because that's a lot of who I am.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm giving parts away of myself, right? Because again, back to like what we talked about earlier, I carry a lot of emotions and thoughts and convoluted things.
Yeah.
So when I am sharing with you how I feel, that's very much like me opening up. Like, this is me.
This is me. This is real. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now.
So I feel like, yeah, like if I show that I'm in the palm of their hands kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I feel very like I'm losing authority over myself.
Oh, dude, I wonder like how much you're gonna feel. Like this feeling that you're feeling right now is gonna multiply hundreds when you have kids.
Ooh.
Because you know, like even in like Korean culture, like you're not Deborah anymore. You're so and so's mother.
No. Exactly. With my ex, when I got into a relationship with him, I like couldn't sleep for a month.
What?
Because I was thinking, oh shoot, I'm not Deborah anymore. I'm his
This
girlfriend.
Partner.
Yeah. I'm like so and so's girlfriend. And I hated that because I'm like, I have no authority. Like, again, that was such an extreme thought.
Yeah.
But it was more like I have no authority over myself as Deborah the individual.
Like when people picture me and imagine me, now they're gonna see him by my side.
Yeah. Which I had a huge problem with because I'm like, that's not who. Like, I am this person's partner, but that's not all I am.
Yeah.
You know.
I totally get that. I still kind of feel that just a little bit.
Really.
Yeah. For me, I think like once you become a partner, you become one. And I was like literally talking to someone about this, like someone from church, I forgot who. But I had told her that I approach relationships like you're one half, the other person's one half, and then together you're one. But other people, they approach it like you're one, and you just make two.
Oh yeah.
But I think because of the way that I'm trying to still go from one half to one. And I think I'm in that process right now. But the thing is, like, I think it kind of makes sense. Like you're one half of a partnership. I'm not saying that you're half a person. You're one half of a partnership.
Oh, that's what you bring to the table, like half.
Yeah. And obviously when you show up the two of you together, and this is probably because like I do it, like whenever like I see a couple, it's hard not to judge the other partner based on the other partner's actions.
Exactly.
And then you end up thinking like, oh, I wonder if someone does something really suspicious or like weird, then you end up thinking like, oh, I wonder why this person is with this person. Because people, they have to be like a reflection of each other to be in a relationship together. I forgot, my train of thought is gone. Half one.
Have one.
I completely understand. I don't know if you
Oh.
still have that mindset.
I think I struggle a lot because I think even because I see it as more like dating is me and then you, and then there's like moments when we come together.
Yeah.
But it's more, I learned that it's more like you're creating like another life almost.
You are.
Right? And
Yeah.
so, but in that creation has to be like partnership and sharing of identities almost.
Yeah.
But I think that is so hard for me because I have to let go of me then, you know? And it's like, again, it's a very selfish, it can be interpreted as a very selfish thing, but it can be as basic as introducing him to my community. Like that was a world thing for me because I'm like, that's my world. And then you're, you know, like the meshing of that is, again, in and of itself, a creation of something new.
Yeah.
But for me, it felt, it was just such a hard process. Because again, I think I'm still in that mindset of this is my life, that's your life. And for me, I'm like, if we're not like married or like all the way, whatever, like that
There's
is.
no need to.
Yeah, like why do that?
Yeah.
But again, like that's not what dating is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think it's okay to do that for the first couple of months, but I think there needs to come a point where like you do need to ingrain that other person into your life and vice versa, because I think it's really important to see your partner in a different setting.
it is.
And not just you two. And not just like with my friends. I need to see you with your friends and like your domain. I need to see you in your domain.
Yeah. In your element.
Your
yeah.
your element, yeah. I think that's something that I didn't quite have with my ex, because like we started dating COVID,
Ooh.
so always constantly us two. Even then, like COVID restrictions were still kind of in place, right? So we couldn't really like see other friends a lot. And then after that, like he had moved away for school, so like it gave us less opportunities for us to merge each other into our lives, and I think that was like really difficult for me. I don't think I realized it was difficult until like much later,
Wait, difficult because you wanted to have that kind of relationship, or difficult?
I was like, yeah, difficult because like I was constantly thinking to myself, I was like, what is missing here?
Oh, so you wanted that.
And I realized it was community, like a shared community. And I realized like I think for both partners, there needs to be a space and an environment where both of you guys can be your partners, like each other's partners.
Yeah, I do agree. Yeah.
Is it too soon for me to ask you like what you think that environment's gonna be for you and your Mr. Fondue?
Oh, to create that space or what? The community.
Create that space if it's not there, or space if that space is already there, if that community is already there.
So I think community is a tricky one right now because we have completely different communities. Yeah, I think to see the overlap of that will definitely require time.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I think that we're trying to create that like new life I was talking about earlier. I think he's already there. I think it's just it's me and this whole self-love of like learning to undo a lot of that I was like teaching myself subconsciously. But I don't know, it's a very hard process because dude, 35 minutes go by so quickly. Fast, right? Well, why were we worried about like having nothing to talk about? Okay, sometimes it gets a little tough because I feel like the man is where he needs to be, but I'm kind of...
You feel like you're lagging behind?
Yeah, I feel like I'm lagging behind. And yeah, I think it's not like I feel sorry or bad. I think it's more frustration with myself of why. Of like why. Of like why am I not getting to where I need to be? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So Mr. Fondue is having a little bit of a painful time because of me.
Listen, I think he'll stick it out though. I think he's gonna continue the fountain. The fondue fountain.
The fondue fountain.
I can see how that can weigh on you though. Like, it's like a heart and a mind situation, right? Like your brain is saying like, I know I need to be there. Like my heart's not caught up.
Yeah. Yes, amen, girl. What the heck? You said it better than I could have ever said it. Yeah. No, 100%. I think sometimes, I think my mind is already there. But like...
but is it really there, or is it more like, I know I need to be there?
So sometimes I think it's a mix of both. Sometimes I'm like there already, or like there's a strong desire to be there. Yeah. But I know I don't have like the tools or the resources to get there at the moment. But it's like this frustration of like, I can see like the road is paved out, but like I'm unable to make the necessary steps like in the pace that I want to. So it's like a lot of like beating my chest over it, like, why can't I do this? But
you know, when you said that, I just like an image kind of just popped up in my head. Let's say that you're stranded on an island. Yeah. And you have sticks and you have like tools to make the stick sharper so that you can catch fish. You just don't know, like, you don't know the technique to catch the fish. Yeah. But honestly, like, in those situations, when someone's struggling, someone always comes in to help. And I think, like, you just need a little bit of help.
From Mr. Fondue.
But I think he's already giving it. So what I'm trying to say is, like, I don't think you need to really be worried about the grand scheme of things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well... No, but I think Mr. Fondue is helping. But I think, like you, with your independence thing, I don't want that help. Sometimes. Because I'm like... Because then I feel like I'm always... Like, he's always pouring into me. And I'm just, like, receiving.
But why? Why is... I know... Like, me asking this is, like, kind of hypocritical. Because, like, if I was in your position, like, I would think the exact same thing. Yeah. But I don't want to. But why is receiving bad? Listen... Like the girls the girls in New York City that I've seen that just receive countless number of things from men just because they can, like very brazenly. It makes me wonder, like, not to that degree and selfishly, but I'm kind of like, if they can do this about that, like, why can't I do about like this thing that's perfectly acceptable?
I also believe that like a partnership, like we should be like growing each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
that's so true.
Yeah, so it's like
I know where you're going with it, but go on.
yeah, so like again, this is something I disagree with, but sometimes people say like find someone who loves you for who you are.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
kind of
you disagree with it?
I disagree with it in the sense of, okay, obviously find someone who loves you for who you are.
Yeah.
But I think that sometimes could be an excuse for people to be like, okay, I'm born this way. Like, so just love me for who I am.
Oh my god, I literally watched a YouTube video about this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like this girl was making like throwing the biggest temper tantrum.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, this is like how I am. Like, love me. Like,
Yeah.
you know? And then if this person won't love me, then I'm like, fine, I'll find someone else who'll love me
Yeah.
for like, I don't know, doing something bad, right? So I think, yes, find someone, but also find someone who challenges your weaknesses.
Yes.
And I think I'm in that like little pickle of I'm being challenged, but because I was so unready. Because also, I've never been on dates.
Yeah, your story is quite
It's quite
miraculous, I will say.
Yeah, so I've never been on dates in high school, and in college I've never been on dates. I ended up dating my like best friend, so that also is a story that's like kind of less like it's not like we were like going on dates, and maybe it's like more common college dating story. But after coming out of college, I like never went on a single date. So I think in the dating world of things, I was very much behind in what I wanted and like developing myself in that area.
In dating?
Yeah. Whereas this man, Mr. Fondue, I feel like he's went through a lot in like not only in relationships, but I think just in his whole life. So I think he knows what he wants.
He has the experience to back him up.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes I'm like a little baby. I'm like, oh my god, I don't know.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I see
And
what
so
you mean.
I think that as a partner, if I can't pour into him the way that he's pouring into me, it feels very imbalanced. And I feel like in that there is frustration on my end of like, hurry, pick up like your end of the stick and you know.
But do you is that internal pressure or is that coming or is that external? I would think it's internal for you, right?
It's 100% internal, and I think he doesn't like show those emotions.
You know, I will say that I only hear of such relationships, right? Because we're not old enough to like actually experience them and like have like people who are close around us to have these experiences yet.
That's true.
But people who are older, like our parents' generation, I hear so often that it's just phases. One person might lean on the other person a little bit more during one phase, and then the other person on another person, the other person on another phase, just goes back and forth and back and forth. So
Yeah.
I don't think that's something necessarily that you should worry about. I think the fact that like you're already concerned about it shows that you don't want to get pigeonholed into constantly receiving, right? Whereas like there are people who are just so used to it, they're not even thinking about it. They're not even thinking about it.
It's just like so.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, he does this for me, and he does this for me, and he does that for me. Like, of course.
Oh, I really liked what you said about like the flow. Like, it's a very seasonal thing.
I think so, because you also just with life, like you don't know what's gonna happen, right? Like, there might be not to cause any ill will on Mr. Fondue, but let's just say that nor am I threatening Mr. Fondue.
Mr. Fondue, you're being threatened right now.
No, knock on precious wood, but just saying that if there was to be a situation like that, I'm sure you would pick up the slack. Like, I have no doubt about it. That like you would see the opportunity to be like, oh, this is where I'm needed.
Yeah.
뭐야 이거?
눈을 지금 꺼진 거야.
지금 꺼진 거야?
Because 아까만 해도.
Lots of technical difficulties.
And we're back.
And we're back.
It's our first one.
Obviously, it's our first one, if you couldn't tell.
So please have grace.
Please have grace. I feel like the year's already going by so fast, don't you think?
The year?
Yeah. I mean, I guess the year just started.
I was like, wait, the year? Are we talking about last year?
No, but I feel like January hasn't even started, but it's already almost ending.
That's true.
Time is rushing. And it's already going to be February next month.
Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah. So do you have any Valentine's Day?
Me?
Plans?
Oh.
Oh wait, Mr. Fondue is not gonna be here.
Yeah, Mr. Fonda's out of town.
He's at a different buffet.
He'll be serving at a different buffet, serving different strawberries.
Oh, I imagine him as a cheese fondue.
Oh, really?
How did you imagine him
A
as-
chocolate and
A chocolate
fondue. Wait, actually, he's more of a cheese.
I thought he was more cheese.
He is. Sorry,
Yeah,
I
'cause
wasn't
feel
even
like,
thinking cheese.
or he could be dark chocolate fondue.
That would be weird for me to be like, oh yeah, he's like dark chocolate. Yeah, he's like 100% cacao powder.
Yeah. He's not. He's more like deep.
Yeah.
Rich.
Yeah. So, yeah, he'll be serving other strawberries during his season. So I'll be left alone. Like you said, what the Victorian.
Oh, the Victorian woman crying or like weeping for her significant other as he's off to war.
Yeah, that'll be me. So no plans at the moment. What are your Valentine's Day plans?
Nothing. I mean, I think like my small group is having a Valentine's Day. Oh wait, we're in the same small group.
Wait, no. Just say mine because I'm not even going.
Wait, I haven't been going either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Hopefully, do you think we will have a guest next episode?
We're not threatening, but
We're not threatening.
we're not threatening
Or
anyone. It looks like it might just be us again.
yeah.
I have a feeling it might just be us again for the next episode, I think, which is fine, but clearly we're still trying to get a hang of it. But I think, what do we talk about doing for the next episode?
Our next month will be March. And so
Yeah.
March is the month I will be turning 27. And so we will be discussing entering our late 20s. Yes. Miss Jenny and I will be both turning 27, which is we're entering that world of
I reject. I reject. I don't claim it.
Yeah, we don't claim it, but we'll still go through it. So we will talk about our emotional turmoil with that.
Okay, so it's like, let's just try to sum it up in one word if you can. Turning into your late 20s. Like, give me one word to describe that feeling. Oh, this is like a good exercise for you.
Oh, yeah. It actually is. I was like, oh shoot, not this again.
One word, or if one word is too hard, then like a very short sentence, like a phrase.
Okay, I think for me, it's the desire to overcome the pain I was talking about earlier and to get to the place I want to.
The desire to... Wait, can you say that one more time?
The desire to quickly overcome the pain of like growing, because I think this year will be a lot of growing for me.
Like you want to be done with it.
Yeah, I want to be done with it because it started like mid-year last year, and because I have not done any growing in the last 26 years, I think it's been so painful and I just want it to be over. So 26, but I know that 27 is like the age of, for me, that becoming more intense. So my desire is for me to quickly get over that.
You know what they say though, like
The
every
other
time
side.
you want something to be overdone quickly, it
Say
never
that-
gets done quickly.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I
Yeah,
think you might be in for yourself.
I know.
a
So
long
one
haul.
word will be pain.
Ah, okay, because my other word was gonna be anguish.
Anguish for me or you?
For me.
No, it's all negative. Okay, why
I mean,
anguish?
okay, I was gonna do like a whole like it's a two sides of the same coin kind of situation. One side is anguish, but the other side is like forced acceptance.
Oh, yeah.
Like I think there's gonna be a lot of moments in my life as I enter my late 20s where I'm forced to accept this part of me or like this reality, things like that. And I think like up until now, I thought that, you know, we're young, we have all the time in the world, we have all the energy in the world.
No, JD and I recently found out that we're
frail.
frail and we're grandmas and we're not built for this world. We're a little.
We're not built for the fantasies that we have in our mind. Like
That's what I'm saying. Our body doesn't catch up to
our head.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like so many things that we want to do here, but first of all, I think like physical restraints, like time wise, but also like our body just can't keep up with it. I used to think when my family and I went to family vacations to like anywhere, my mom, she would get tired literally on the second day. And as like the 7-year-old self, I was like, Mom, keep up. You only walked for 7 hours yesterday. When we went to a ski lodge once when we were younger, I think she stayed literally, other than the first day, in her cabin the entire time. And we were there for like a week straight. And I would do the same exact thing.
How about now?
Oh, still
Yeah,
now.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think we've Jenny and I have hit our limits. We need to, part of our goal is to figure out how to be sustainable for not only ourselves but
I think that's gonna be a very hard goal to tackle. Yeah.
Anyways,
We just wanted to welcome anyone who stayed until the end of this video. I don't know who in their right mind did. If you did, thank you. Please let us know that so we can give you guys a gold star sticker.
We will give you $2.
Oh no, that she said that. I did not say that. She said that.
If I know you, you'll get $2. If I don't know you, you'll get a air kiss.
An air, oh, that's cute. You'll just get one air kiss from me. No $2. But yeah, if you stayed up until this end of the video, thank you so much, and we hope that you look forward to the next one.
Hello, Miss Cat. How have you been lately? Okay, thank you for your time.